Retro Rewind. Retro Rewind. 20 years of radio history, celebrating over 30 years of the greatest songs ever made.
Hi, this is Kenny Loggins, and thanks for logging on to RetroRewind.com.
Retro Rewind!
This is Retro Rewind.
Hi everybody, Dave Harris with Retro Rewind. A pleasure to have back on the show a longtime friend of ours, Kenny Loggins. Thank you, Kenny.
Good to be back.
We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. You've got a great album called All Join In, and we were just talking a little bit that it might have had a different title at first because you've covered you do a lot of covers on this album.
Yeah, it's what we call a family album.
Yeah,
which means that it's not just children, it's children and parents, and that's how we're trying. We've been doing that since Return to Pooh Corner, when I was with Sony Wonder, and they launched their Family Artist series with Return to Pooh Corner, and we were trying. The record stores didn't know what to do with it because they had no division for family music. They had children's music,
right?
So I either got lumped in with Rafi, or put in a pop section as if it was a pop release, and then we weren't reaching the right audience there either. So Disney has the wherewithal and the machinery to really get this point across that it's a music to be enjoyed by the parents as much as the children.
Absolutely.
And so it's a fine line for me to walk as an artist, to find material that the kids are going to love and produce it in a way that has the production values that the parents would love, and the kids will still be able to relate to it. And I'm picking classic material like a couple of Beatle tunes, All Together Now from Yellow Submarine.
Right.
I try not to go for the obvious ones, like Yellow Submarine was like too obvious.
Right.
But All Together Now was really cool, and I got incredibly lucky with that because there's a line in the second verse, black, white, green, red, can I take my friend to bed?
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I know it was written by Paul McCartney, but that line's probably not cool for a children's record, or a family record on Disney. So I changed it to Mama Says It's Time for Bed. And then I found out that it's not okay to change Paul's lyrics.
Oh.
And that a whole lot of people in the publishing company started to freak out because they were like, oh my God, he changed his words, and Paul will never go for that. So we went all the way up to the president of the publishing company with a memo to Paul, and he went, oh, of course, no problem.
Of course. Yeah.
But we had a whole lot of people aflutter for a while over that one.
Well, he can relate. He's got a young daughter as well, so.
Yeah, most of the writers actually get it. I changed some lyrics on Cheryl Wheeler's tune, Gandhi Buddha, to make it a parent-child song instead of a lover song.
Okay, right.
And it works amazingly. And the lyric on the chorus is, I must have been Gandhi or Buddha or someone like that. I must have saved lives by the hundreds everywhere I went. I must have brought rest to the restless and fed the hungry too. I must have done something right to get to have you.
Wow.
Those were her actual lyrics. And I said, as a parent-child song, it's even more appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? I was just telling you off the record before we started that I have 6 children and twins on the way. But I got to tell you that this album has already been tested, by the family, and it's thumbs up. And this is something, this type of. Maybe it's a new genre, possibly.
I think it is. Just as the way Return to Pooh Corner was a new version of Lullaby Records.
Yeah, and you bring that up. That was '94, I think, for us. I was working in Nashville at the time at WLAC, which was a leading AC station. And of course, Amy Grant lived in Nashville at the time, and she was with you on some of that. But that's Return to Pooh Corner too. But in '94, when you kind of tapped back into that. I think you were a pioneer, and I just think it's something that, like you said earlier, it hasn't really been. Where do you put me? Because I've got all the success as this artist's style of music, and then as you said, with the Rafi thing. So I think finally, they're catching on to what you're doing.
The people, the public, and the parents are getting. Oh, I get it. I'm going to dig this record too.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
Right.
So we're doing something that Disney's never done before, and I certainly have never done before. We're releasing a double-sided single which we talked to the iTunes people. They're going to call it a virtual 45.
How about that? Is that the first time they've done that?
Yeah, they've never done that before.
Wow.
You can get both cuts for 99 cents, a virtual 45.
Okay.
And one side is for the parents, Gandhi Buddha, and the other side is for the children.
Brilliant.
A song by Donovan called First There Is a Mountain, which I recut in a sort of love the one you're with kind of groove.
Yeah.
And my daughter Hannah, who's 11, sings lead on the second verse. So I got to share a lot of this record with Hannah.
And she's amazing, and she gets it honest. I'm telling you, I was really blown away by that.
She really can sing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have 3 musicians out of 5 kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's got it all around her. You know,
Is this something she wants to do, you think?
Oh, absolutely. And because Crosby's doing, my oldest boy is doing so well with it.
Yes.
My daughter Bella, who's 21, is a music major in college and is emerging as a singer-songwriter.
That's amazing.
And so Hannah just sort of sees it as the family business.
Yeah.
It's her birthright, you know, and she has no question in her mind that that's where she's going. And we just shot a video with Nigel Dick, the producer, or the director rather. We shot a video last Wednesday for First There Is a Mountain, and he loved her. He spent half the video shooting solo stuff on her.
How about that?
Yeah, so it's really fun.
So you're not one of those parents that wouldn't encourage, like, I've been there, I know what it's like. You know, I have some friends that are in acting, and they're like, I don't think I'll have my child do that.
Yeah.
But you very much encourage it, don't you?
Well, it's not. I encourage what I see is a child's strengths. Like with my son Luke, it's all about baseball. Okay. I'm not going to push him into show business.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to play ball, and if we can go all the way through a college scholarship,
okay,
amen.
Yeah.
You know, let's do that. And I live vicariously through my children, whether they're painters or bartenders or whatever.
Sure.
You know, I just want them to be happy, like most dads, and I want them to feel fulfilled artistically.
Well, you know, and that's what it is, artistic. You know, it could be in baseball, it could be in speech writing or what have you. So
just doing the best you can at what you do.
Yeah. And, you know, I think this album, Kenny, is a lot like you said. It's a family album. It's not, you know, all about the kids. It's about the parents too, which is, you know, let's be honest. That's where it's at, family. You know.
Well, how many times, you know, especially when you have little ones, you put in the CD and like it's Barney, and no offense, a lot of people love Barney. I did for the first million times.
Right.
But kids listen to it over and over and over again. And then you just want to take the CD out and fling it.
Yeah.
And so my goal was to make a CD that the parents could listen to as many times as the kids want to.
Yeah.
And in my perfect world, they're all singing along. That's why I called it All Join In.
You know, the interesting thing you think that you said in some of the information that I read, and I think you're right on the money here, is that, you know, children can pick up if you're talking down to them. You know, they want to hear. You give them the benefit of the doubt that they're smarter than you think, you know? Yeah,
especially musically.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter was singing along with the radio when she was 2.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and
sure.
And they like the peace and quiet of a Rafi, but there are other moments where they want to get rowdy, and I think that's why the whole Kids Bop series has done so well.
Yeah.
You know, that to just do kids singing covers of pop tunes seems to work like a charm. It doesn't even matter how good or how bad it is. It's just kids love to hear kids singing. So I did a liberal dose of children singing along on this record.
I think it worked. Like I said, it's worked like a charm with mine. You know, just as a test, because I put it on just to kind of see, you know, to kind of gauge
if they react to it.
Yeah. You know, and the weird thing is you know, a year or so ago, this will probably blow your mind, I put on a song by Gilbert O'Sullivan, Claire. And I don't know if you know that song, but at the end of it, it's got like a little girl laughing. And my youngest daughters, both of them, were just like perking up. And so it's that reaction when I read that. I'm like, you're right. Kids love to hear kids because they can kind of relate.
Retro Rewind!
The 90s, 80s, the 70s. It's all right now on Retro Rewind.